So I'm going to do this video today, a tutorial on 20th Century Boy by T-Rex. I'm going to be using the music from the Trinity initial grade exams. I teach this piece quite a lot to kids. It's fairly simple, it's an iconic piece of music, one of the first pieces I ever learned to play. It can be made more difficult as you get a bit better if needed. And I like the piece, so why wouldn't I teach it? Right, okay. So it's going to start off with the iconic riff, which we've heard a million times, yeah, if we don't live under rocks. 2 notes, nice and simple. It's going to have your open E, your 6th string, and it's going to have the 3rd fret on your 6th string, which is a G. And it's going to have E, E, G, E, G, E, G, E, 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 G, E, G, E, G, E, yeah? We're going to use our 2nd finger, if possible, for the fact of where we go from this riff, which leads the 1st finger into the perfect place to start the next part, which we'll do in a minute. So 2nd finger, and we're not going to be lifting it right up here, just on, nice pad of your finger to keep your hand nice and flat to stop the other strings ringing. Just small movements, yeah? I know that's much easier said than done, because you'll want to put your hands all the way up here out of the way when you're playing an open string. It's something you'll probably work on forever while trying to play guitar. I know I still work on it all the time. The next part is what your plectrum's doing, and this right hand, to keep this as easy as possible and reduce the amount of movement that we use while we're playing. So the palm, the side of your hand, is going to rest around the bridge of your guitar. Yeah, so you end up with your elbow right up here and your shoulder across here. It doesn't matter playing acoustic, electric, whether it's got a different type of bridge or whatever, they've all got bridges. It's going to be somewhere around here. And it's a nice small movement with the plectrum. Just to cut down movement, the bigger the movements, the more likely we are to hit other strings, make mistakes. When we play with our hand floating about, we end up picking and our hand ends up all the way over here, and it's got to come back to find the note again. If we're nice and tight up here, we can get that speed out of this guitar with very little effort. Right, okay. And then we want to pick, and I know most beginners just want to play down picks all the time. I get that. I think I was one of those kids that my teacher would be on me every single lesson forever. Play an upstroke there, play an up pick there, use ups and downs, yeah? Probably sick of hearing it. I know I sometimes bore myself saying it to kids, so let's have a go with this down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, up. 2 different ways of playing it there. Down, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. Nice and easy, yeah? You copy this, you can rewind it and play it again and play it in slow motion if you really need to. Yeah, just that 2nd finger on and off. Nice small pick movements. Then the next section of the song, the verse, is this A5 chord, which is your open 5th string, and then, which is an A, and then you're going to go to the 2nd fret of your D string, your 4th string. Yeah, and you're going to play both of those strings together. Yeah, you get a 5 chord or a power chord. Yeah. Now the rhythm is going to be 1, 2 and 3, 4. 1, 2 and 3, 4. So 1 and 3, 4. 1 and 3, 4. Okay. Now there is a silence between that one and that one. Yeah. So to get this staccato sound or this detached sound, rather than it, yeah, which sounds okay, but it's not what the music says, and it sounds much better Yeah, and we're going to use our first finger on this second fret here. So when we've come from that riff with that nice flat hand, our first finger is more or less in place just to lift the other three out of the way, and you've got your A5 without having to search around the guitar for it using the same finger. So to make this silence, two things we're going to be doing is bringing these fingers flat to your guitar, but not pressured, just flat, yeah? So it just kills the noise behind you. And also, with the plectrum, as we pick, we're going to bring the hand down onto the strings, and the pick lands just ready to pick that A note again, yeah? And don't worry about like your first finger just touching that D string in between, yeah? So two things happening at once. We've picked, and then both hands come down on the strings to kill the noise, yeah? We're just going to use downstrokes for that sort of aggressive sound that it has with it, rather than... I know it's very subtle. If you played it with downs and ups, there's not much difference, but I would certainly use the downstrokes myself for this, just to give it a bit more punch. Four times we're going to do that. 2, 3, 4, and on the fourth time, that second finger is going to be nearby on that third fret of that E string, just to play the, and you can give it a bit of a wiggle if you want a bit more blues in it. Yeah, and then we're back into the riff, and our second finger's already in position to play the riff again. Yeah, it plays the riff twice, goes back to the verse, same again, back to the riff, and then it goes to the bridge. I think this is probably the trickiest part of the song. There's a few ways to play it. I would just play it with my finger playing the A, 2, 3, 4, and then we move up to the second fret of the fifth string and just play that on its own. 2, 3, 4, and then we've got the E5, which is just the E string and the second fret of your fifth string, where your first finger will already be after playing that little section. Yeah? But the problem with that is we end up with a big jump very quickly to have to get to an E major chord, which, as we get better, it's not such a bad thing to do, a hard thing to do. But at a beginner stage, that jump from there to there is massive, and it doesn't give you a lot of time. So we'll try it this way first, and then I'll show you another way to try it as well, if you're feeling a bit. So if you're feeling confident, we're going to play that A5 chord, and we're going to play 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 4, yeah, off the bar, and then we're going to change our finger upper string, should I say, to the second fret of the A string, the fifth string, and that's going to be the same again, but this time just the one string. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then, well, it's going dead. Right, we've got the E5, which our first finger's already on the second fret of the fifth string, but we're going to have the open E string as well, which is going to go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Yeah, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Okay, so that whole section, all with the first finger, all downstrokes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Yeah, that's one way to play it, but we've got to jump straight into an E major chord, yeah? Which at this stage is going to be your first finger onto the first fret of your third string, yeah? which is a G sharp. Then your third finger, your ring finger, is going to go to the second fret of your D string. Yeah, and then your second finger is going to go to the second fret of your A string, which is a B. And you'll play all 6 strings with your pick, just down, nice and loose. Yeah. Now, the other way to play that, I've been doing a little bit of teaching this way. I think it's quite a good way once you've come out of the... We're going to get our third finger instead this time. Instead of doing it all with one finger and then making the big jump, we're going to play our third finger onto the second fret of our D string. 2, 3, 4. And then put your second finger down onto the second fret of your 5th string. 1, 2, 3, 4. And it's already in place for the E. And 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, 4. And as you're doing that, your first finger can then come down onto the first fret of your G, yeah? For that G sharp. Yeah? And it already makes the E major chord, yeah? So, if you watch this nice and slow, you have the third finger. 1, 2, 3, 4. Second finger, 2, 3, 4. And my first finger is already waiting now. It's already on the string. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, 4. And I can strum away at that E to finish the song off, yeah? That's another way I think is a pretty easy way. It gives you around 6 seconds to make an E major chord from getting that second finger on, yeah? 1, 2, 3, 4. So from that point there, you can be getting that first finger ready as you're playing everything else with your right hand, yeah? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm ready. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3. Yeah, I hope this helps. And then for the rest of the song, and I'll post a link to some of the backing tracks on YouTube that help, and they even have the tab music on some of those backing tracks, so you can read that as well. We're gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and again 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and again 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and again 1, 2, and then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that very last one, we're just going to stop it by putting our hand nice and flat across our strings. Put this hand across all your strings as well. You get double stop there, so nothing rings through. Dead, yeah. Right, hope that helps. Thank you.